Mother. Do not call me that. I can't choose to stop being your daughter. Mother.
Ilium is a world founded by the Asari, yet borders the Terminus systems, and so tends to be very lax in its laws compared to most Asari worlds. But this tends to lead more towards white-collar crime than the thuggery of Omega. Dantius Towers is on Ilium, which gives you an idea of what that can be like. But still, it's a very rich world, and you can find your mark here, assuming you don't lose everything and wind up having to become an indentured servant to pay off your debt. A crossroads for the legitimate, the barely legal, and the very illegal. There's no telling what you might find here.
You want to see how far I'll go? I learned how to shove a gun in people's faces from Commander Shepard?
Such as a man cosplaying you trying to shake down a bar.
Shepard? Is it really you? It's me, Conrad Werner!
I've played ME2 on the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC. And the reason the footage of me in combat shows me sucking is the keyboard is the least optimal way for me to play. For me to play, please don't turn this into a PC versus console fight. I've got a pinnacle profile that makes up for this, but even that feels kind of awkward. But I will still tell you, with all of that in there, the PC version is superior to the PS3 version for one simple reason. PS3 does not have Conrad Werner. Conrad's Shepard's #1 fan, but doesn't seem to know when to quit. He's claiming he's a deep cover operative working for her.
Conrad, let me make this perfectly clear. This is not acceptable.
Tough love, Conrad. But in the end, it's still love. Conrad wants to make a difference. It's just that he's completely incapable of it. For instance, he's here to get the deed to this bar so he can break up a red sand ring.
Listen, crap for brains. First, we don't sell red sand. Second, red sand is legal on Ilium. You just need a license.
So Shepard talks to this so-called undercover cop who makes the mistake of trying to talk condescendingly to Shepard and nearly gets shot for it too, but not a graze to the foot. It's all sorted out though. Conrad gets to think he did a good job before being told it's time to retire now that Shepard is back.
Can do. Thanks for not being too mad.
And thanks for not using Inferno ammo when you shot me in the foot. I get heat rash. Miranda is Shepard's second in command, and while she's content to follow orders and respect Shepard's abilities, she at one point expressed disappointment that the elusive man wouldn't let her put a control chip in Shepard's brain. And that's not a euphemism. That was literally what she wanted to do.
Can't say I like the idea of being brought back to life with a control chip in my brain.
The elusive man is taking an incredible risk with you. I just hope his gamble pays off.
The ironic part is that Miranda, as a child, ran away from home because her father was too controlling. She had no mother. She was created from a modified version of his own DNA to create as perfect a human being as possible. She matter-of-factly states her superiority in everything from health to eyesight to biotics. But in the end, all she was to her father was a way of securing his own future, his dynasty, and so she eventually decided she wanted nothing to do with him. If you can't tell by now, she and Jack don't get along, which is obvious in some ways, but a bit confusing in others. The obvious are that they're polar opposites. Jack is anarchy incarnate, Miranda all about discipline and following orders. Jack despises Cerberus, Miranda is totally committed. Jack is impulsive, Miranda is a planner. That's part of the problem right there, but there is a deeper one. What happened with Jack is worse than Miranda's upbringing. Her father was oppressive, but didn't literally lock her away. He sometimes hurt her feelings, but he never actually tortured her. He saw her as an extension of himself, but he didn't treat her like a weapon. Yet while she demonstrates no sympathy for Jack's childhood, she's extremely touchy on the subject of her own father's comparably minor mistreatment. For instance, when word comes that her father knows where her twin sister is, she's borderline obsessed with stopping him, even when it's revealed that the twin was only genetically, that she was taken as a baby. Miranda keeps insisting that taking her away wasn't kidnapping, it's rescuing. Shepard agrees to help, and in the vain hope of improving Miranda's relationship with Jack, brings her too. Maybe if Jack helps her personally, Miranda will be a bit less harsh with her from now on. They meet with a contact on Ilium who says that Miranda's old friend, Niket, said that Eclipse is here and that she should leave delivering the now older girl to a shuttle for settling into a new life with him. Shepard's going to go with distracting the mercs. Obviously, they've proven how good they are at attracting angry people with guns. Some of the Eclipse mercs shoot down the sky car, but there's one thing they didn't plan on. Shepard summoning a ninja ghost. Ninja Ghost is unstoppable! She tries to explain the reason for kidnapping a baby.
I can understand choosing to go your own way, but you stole a young child from her father.
If you knew my father, you would understand. I wasn't the first one he made. I was only the first one he kept. I was brought up with no friends, pushed to meet impossible demands. I wasn't a daughter to him. I don't know what I was.
Well, what makes things worse is that, along the way, they pick up comm chatter that says that Niket is waiting to deliver the girl to Eclipse, and Miranda's devastated at the betrayal. The head of the Eclipse squad doesn't let her and Niket talk much.
I'm not stealing her. I'm rescuing her. Come on, Niket. Let's finish this bitch off and get out of here.
Take your best shot.
I was just waiting for you to finish getting dressed. Or does Cerberus really let you whore around in that outfit?
I like her. Are we still recruiting?
To show the degree of her obsession with this, when Niket admits that her father has no direct information on the girl's whereabouts, well...
Which means that you're the only loose end. This isn't how I wanted it to end, Niket.
Miranda, wait. You don't want to do this.
I'll tell him that you hid her. That I don't know where she is.
Finally, things don't have to end with...
And Niket.
Done.
Oh, god damn it. After resolving it, Miranda helps the girl and her adoptive family get to the Cerberus shuttle that'll take them to their new lives. At Shepard's prompting, Miranda speaks to her briefly to let her know that she's not alone. And maybe these two will have learned a little bit about each other along the way, too.
Touch me and I will smear the walls with you, bitch!
And perhaps Joker will take up tap dancing.
Cheerleader won't admit what Cerberus did to me was wrong.
It wasn't Cerberus. Not really. But clearly you were a mistake.
Another part of Miranda's problem is that, due to her genetic background, she wonders whether any achievements she has are truly hers, since she was given all these advantages. Jack's probably further aggravation because, while she respects what Shepard has become through hard work, Jack shows what happens when you are pushed, a biotic that is much stronger than she is. But in the end, while there's a bit of a problem with ego and control, what she wants is what's best for the mission. She seems to be one of the ones who most realizes the stakes and is willing to do whatever it takes to ensure their success, even if it means sacrifices have to be made. It's easy to see why the Elusive Man wants her. She's an embodiment of Cerberus principles in the body of someone containing the genetic best of humanity.
I believe in what Cerberus stands for. Only time will tell if you prove to be an asset or a liability to our cause.
The best of the Asari, however, are represented in their Justicars. The Asari are unusual in that they are an all-female species that can mate with either gender or even alien species. In fact, since the discovery of alien life, breeding with aliens has been considered the preferable thing, with those Asari such as Liara that are born of two Asari are given the vulgar name pureblood. They go through 3 stages: the maiden stage, where they usually dance in clubs or join merc bands or the military, the matron stage, where they settle down to raise a family, and the matriarch stage, where they become honored elders sharing wisdom, sometimes in a bar. Samara is a matriarch Justicar. The Justicars are revered amongst the Asari for an adherence to a strict code of justice that covers virtually every situation, and for dispensing justice without thought of reward, circumstance, or personal matters. If the code says a person must die, the Justicar must perform this action without hesitation, even if they plead that they had to do what they did. All it would do is make the Justicar feel sad for having to kill them. It's a complete black and white code. Shepard, of course, doesn't believe in black and white morality. She believes in blue and red morality. As a Justicar, Samara is a powerful warrior and biotic, so she'll be a welcome addition to the team. But there's a problem. While the Justicars are admired and no Asari questions what they do, Ilium is full of A, aliens, and B, corruption, which means the likelihood of a Justicar gunning down someone whose friends or family would be very, very pissed off is high. While getting information, a local cop explains the problem, and that for that reason she's supposed to take Samara into custody. A problem because Samara will be compelled to leave by the code, and if that's what she decides, the cops are going to die. Yet her superiors insist on ordering her to do that anyway.
Your superiors are sending you to certain death for no good reason. You have a right to disobey.
We can disobey suicidal orders. Why wasn't I told?
That's about twice a day, best I can figure.
Shepard goes to try to find her, and what she finds is an oddly dressed woman who beats up some Eclipse mercs and kills them when they refuse to tell her the name of some ship. Nevertheless, she takes some time out of her busy schedule of snapping necks with her boots to listen to Shepard's problem, and is honored at the thought of joining the mission to almost certainly get killed. The snag, though, is that Samara's already on a mission, one that she can't give up. but when the cop shows up to arrest her, a compromise is reached. Shepard will get the name of the ship the fugitive she's looking for is on, so that Samara can go with her and not kill all the cops, which, while not being unjust, would still probably not be nice. Shepard starts out having a friendly conversation with his Volus, Pitney 4, whose partner was murdered and who is also smuggling some illegal biotic-enhancing chemicals to the Eclipse. He gives Shepard a key card to get into the Eclipse base so that she can get the information, and so the slaying of many mercenaries can now begin, including one named Elnora who tries talking her way out, but Zaid sees through it, Garrus still has no love for Eclipse, and Shepard's had a long damn day.
You chose your side, Elnora, and you lost.
Screw that, bitch!
It turns out she was the murderer, so it's all good. We also find an unexpected surprise.
I am a biotic god. I think things, and they happen. Fear me, lesser creatures, for I am biotics made flesh.
He's probably high, but I've seen a multi-million-year-old talking spaceship, so who knows?
They may laugh when I fall over, but they don't know what I know in my head. That I know that I am amazingly powerful. Fear me?
While our hero doesn't do terribly well, Shepard and her squad takes out the Eclipse mercs and discovers the ship name, which they return to Samara. Knowing that she's got a ship full of crazy, Shepard points out that she can't have Samara killing people or otherwise dicking with them while they're trying to save the galaxy. So Samara swears an oath to follow Shepard, and her power and wisdom will certainly come in handy. For instance, there's a grave injustice going on here with these colonists from Zoo's Hope, where Shepard saved them from the ancient plant. They're getting screwed over on medical tests by this lady over there, and Shepard, knowing what it's like to be a colonist and get screwed over, goes to talk to her about that.
I saw your conversation, human. You're here to complain about the medical contracts those colonists from Theros signed. I suggest you leave. Your life is short enough. Do not waste what time you have bothering me. The galaxy would be a better place if nobody but the Asari had ever dragged themselves out of the primordial muck.
Are you hearing this, Samara? This lady's a racist who's screwing over innocent colonists just to satisfy her need to make aliens suffer. What's the code got to say about that one, huh? Huh? Oh, just stand there, huh? So you'll kill a cop but not give a bigot a talking to. This code of yours is sounding less and less useful by the minute. I guess Shepard's going to have to sort this out, and much as I wish there was a flip over the railing option, it looks like I'll just have to talk her down. Eventually, Samara's mission to search for the fugitive starts to bother her, and she explains to Shepard why it's so important. Morinth, her daughter, is the fugitive. She and her sisters were purebloods, and all carried a rare defect that made them Ardak Yakshi. When they have sex, they burn out their partner's nervous systems and kill them, growing stronger in the process. This is addictive, and there's no cure, so the only choice is to have them live a life of comfortable isolation. But Morinth decided she'd rather run around the universe killing people, hence why Samara's a Justicar on her trail. Even though Samara was pretty useless with that medical lady, Shepard agrees to help. Morinth is tracked to Omega, where Shepard draws her attention, and Morinth tries to seduce her, only for Samara to break in and attack her. The two are evenly matched. I haven't talked much about the morality in the game because a lot of the options aren't really good or bad like they are on a lot of morality scales. That's kind of a bit difficult to explain. Shepard may do something kind or cruel, but not necessarily bad or good. But this is one time where the choice is pretty hard to consider anything but evil. Shepard can side with Morinth, helping her kill Samara and letting her daughter take her place. While you might say that Samara killing her own daughter is wrong and Morinth is a victim, in the end Morinth is choosing to relish in her murder spree and shows no plans to ever stop. And what's more, promising to help Samara only to betray and murder her, I'm having a hard time seeing that as anything but evil. If she didn't approve, Shepard could have just said so. If she doesn't want to see Morinth killed, she could at least try to intercede once Samara has Morinth at her mercy. But at most, killing Samara would be a dark act prompted by pragmatism, and a lot more likely, well, just plain bad. But regardless, Shepard makes her decision and Morinth is dealt with. Samara finds no joy in it, but she has at least brought her killing streak to an end.
Morinth haunted my dreams and waking hours equally. For the first time in 400 years, I am free. I am a ruined vessel of sorrow and regret, but I am free.